Mr. Passer, what's going on with y'all? All right, y'all. What's up? This your boy back at y'all with another one, man. Shouts out to the Lions Den basketball community. See who we got up in here tonight. Salute to Mr. Pazza, Greenleaf, the Man Boy, Mr. Winters, Dallas Parker. What's up, Dallas Parker? Long time no see, man. Good to see you. Wait, well, huh? Salute to you. TJ Sports, my homie, down in the Columbia, South Carolina area. What's up? Steven Alexander, JMJ 2121. All right, let's get down to business, man, because this was one thing I wanted to talk about in light of some news that came out last night regarding some people in Congress. And, you know, when we out here trying to fight white supremacy, we got to know how they move. We got to know how they operate. That way we can arm ourselves with the knowledge necessary to combat these white supremacists and all that, right? All right, so one thing I wanted to talk about was the Stock Act. And if you don't know what the Stock Act is, this was a bill. That's what's up, Pink Meadows. Salute to the my sister Pink Meadows up in the shop. What's up? So the Stock Act is actually an acronym that stands for Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge. Okay? I want to say that again. The Stock Act is actually an acronym that stands for Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge. Now, this act was signed in 2012 by Barack Obama, and what it's designed to do, or it was designed to keep people who are elected officials in Congress from engaging in insider trading, which is illegal. Okay? See, you and I cannot get away with insider trading. And if you don't know what insider trading is, that's basically you're getting information before the general public does. And you take that information and you capitalize on it to make money off of it, right? This is the same kind of crime that Martha Stewart got put in prison for 6 months. That's insider trading, right? I'm gonna repeat that again. So insider trading is you getting a piece of information before the general public, and then you take that information and make a lot of money off of it. So salute to the Maximus Royalty in the building. What's up, little bro? All right. So I'm gonna pull up this piece of legislature, right? Now, what you see here is a typical congressional bill, right? 112th Congress, public law, right? So this is the bill that got signed by Barack Obama, right? Forget all the fucking word salad. I'm just gonna get right to the gist of it, right? So like I said before, the Stock Act is the Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge, right? As you can see here, Basically, what this basically saying, anybody that's in the federal government, okay, members of Congress, and that means the House of Representatives and the Senate, or anybody that's, you know, an aide or a delegate or anybody that's had any kind of ties to Congress. All right. This also includes the people within the executive branch and the judicial branch, right? So obviously the president, vice president, right? Anybody in the president's cabinet, whether it be the Speaker of the House, the president pro tempore, the Secretary of Agriculture, those kind of individuals, right? And then, you know, obviously the judiciary branch, right? The Supreme Court, obviously, that's what we're talking about here. Anybody that's affiliated with that branch of government, right? Separate but equal powers of government. The executive, legislative, and the judicial branch. And if you cut through all this word salad, and cut through all the BS, basically, no member in the body is to profit off of information that has not been made public. All right? When you cut through all the word salad, right? So, I'm going to share another clip with you guys because we had some people who got involved in set crime. And you wonder why I don't want to go out there and vote for these Bammers. These Bammers continue to go out here, commit these crimes, and nothing happens to them. Right? Now, I'm going to play this clip for y'all. And we're going to get down to business here because it's very important that you know who you're dealing with. And as soon as this thing stops buffering.
SEC filings indicate House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, along with other members of Congress, have traded individual stocks in the lead up to grants that were federally approved for the very companies that they're supposed to be regulating and legislating.
I apologize for the delay. I'm getting a little buffering here. I don't know why this thing's buffering like that. I'm gonna come back to this one here in a little bit once I get this fixed.
This is something that became an issue to the lead up of the pandemic.
All right, let's try this again. I want y'all to see something that that got uncovered last night.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, along with other members of Congress, have traded individual stocks in the lead up to grants that were federally approved for the very companies that they're supposed to be regulating and legislating. Now, this is something that became an issue to the lead up of the pandemic. We were informed that the Senate had a closed-door briefing on the severity of the pandemic early on in 2020 before the general public knew the details. And during that time, you had several senators trade stocks, individual stocks, like tech stocks, for instance, which led to quite a bit of, quite a bit of weight in the stock market, let's just put it that way. Now, the latest information shows just how much or to what extent these lawmakers, not just in the Senate, but in the House, use their inside knowledge to make decisions about the individual stocks that they were invested in. So there's a great Twitter account that gives you all of the details, kind of updates you as we learned more and more from these SEC filings called Unusual Whales. And it comes with the receipt, so you guys can check that out as well. And the account argued that Pelosi just exercised $10 million in Microsoft shares on March 19th. Microsoft then launched a $22 billion military deal. She sits directly on relevant committees. And just to show you those receipts, you can see exactly what she was willing to purchase right before that contract was announced for Amazon. Again, we're talking about a $10 million contract. Obviously, it's going to be helpful to that company, and it's going to increase the price of its shares. Pelosi bought about $10 million of its shares before that deal was launched or announced publicly. Now, I have other examples to share with you as well, including on January 22nd, Congressman Mo Brooks and Ed Perlmutter and Mike Conway all bought Pfizer stocks in June and July, right before the U.S. government signed a $1.95 billion vaccine contract. August 5th, U.S. government announces $1 billion COVID vaccine contract with Johnson & Johnson. Congressman Kevin Hern, who sat on the House Committee on Budget, and Carol Miller, who's on the Oversight and Reform Committee, purchased J&J stocks in July. March 18th. I mean, the list goes on, guys. Former Congressman Greg Gianforte purchased up to $1 million in GlaxoSmithKline stocks, which is, by the way, up 25% at the 2020 peak. The company eventually signed a contract with the United States government through Operation Warp Speed. And, of course, that was on July 29th when the U.S. government announces a $2.1 billion deal with Sanofi and GlaxoSmithKline for vaccine development. And I'm going to give you one other piece of data to look at that I think is incredibly relevant, because it shows you the extent to which these members of Congress are trading as they're making decisions about the very individual companies they're making decisions about, right? Like, or making legislative decisions about, I should say. So take a look at this fun graph, which of course shows you that Nancy Pelosi has traded the most, maximum investment in terms of the amount of money she had invested in the market. So it's obviously well past $20 million, but it gives you a sense of how broken the system really is. Like, money in politics, corruption, that's definitely an issue. But that doesn't do away with the other ways in which our political system is broken. And to have members of Congress invested in either personal businesses or individual stocks essentially undermines our democracy. Why would they do the right thing and represent the best interests of the American people when they can make a buck, right, by making decisions that help the share prices for these private companies? But Waz, you know, this is something that infuriates me, it enrages me, but it appears that this behavior, for the most part, is legal.
See, when it comes to them, everything is legal. But don't you do it, though. Don't you get involved in insider trading. Shout out to 501 Shy Boys in the building. Don't you go out there and try to obtain a piece of information that nobody else know, and you go out there and get some stocks that's going to make you some money. Oh no! Then they're going to sit here and wag their finger at you and put you, and you got to be held to the fullest extent of the law. Right? See, they can do it all day long, and even when they come out with this insider trading, as that bombshell that got dropped, you know who investigates them? Guess who investigates them? Does the FBI investigate them? No. Do the Capitol Police investigate these guys that get involved in insider trading? No. What about the CIA? No. You know who investigates them? Members in Congress. They have a committee of people in Congress that investigates this type of behavior. Really, y'all? So let me get this straight. We're going to have other people that's, in Congress investigate fellow constituents that's in Congress that gets involved in insider trading. Now tell me what sense did that make, right? You would think they'd have some kind of overseer, independent reviewer that will come in unannounced and investigate the activity that's going on in Congress. But no, they don't do that. You're having constituents investigate other constituents. Now, and you wonder why nothing happens. You wonder why, yeah, while this gets exposed to the news, this goes absolutely nowhere. Right? This is the kind of corruption that goes on in the political realm. These elites look out for each other, right? And the reason why I'm doing these kind of videos right here, because we need to get on code. We need to know what's up. And this is one way we get on code. We arm ourselves with knowledge. When we sitting up here talking basketball, because a lot of you guys talk basketball, a lot of you guys sound like y'all some goddamn savants. Y'all put me to the test. I'm like, God dang. I need us to put that same kind of energy into this stuff that really matters, right? Basketball, that's just for entertainment purposes. This is real life shit. This is some real shit. This is some shit that's going to get some money put in your pocket, get you some kind of foundation, so to speak. As much as I love talking basketball, as much as I like cooking the Bama on the topic, when it comes to LeBron James or Stephen Curry or Allen Iverson or whoever, right? That's really not going to make us any money. That's really not going to get us to where we need to go for Black empowerment. Topics like this is what we're going to get us the Black empowerment we looking for, we desire, that we crave. Oh, I ain't going yet. But yeah, man. Now I want y'all to see some graphs here, right? Let's take a look at some graphs. Now this website called Unusual Whales gives a breakdown of the amount of money that the Democrats and the Republicans given to, as far as the amount of trading that goes on. And as you can see by this graph, the Democrats spend way more than the Republicans. But last year, when the pandemic was in its embryo stages, right? You had former Senator Kelly Loeffler, who basically paid a $2 million campaign donation to Brian Kemp, and she ends up becoming the senator for Georgia, despite the fact she don't even fucking live in Georgia. She's originally from Illinois. But that's another subject for another day, right? What's up, Kevin Wedderburn? The other guy, the other senator, the former senator for Georgia, David Perdue, also got involved in insider trading. So the $2 million bribe that Kelly Loeffler gave to Brian Kemp was small potatoes compared to the $8 million that she got back from insider trading. Shout out to the Queen Unique Dawn in the building. Now, as you can see by month, right? Blue is Democrat, red is Republican, right? As you can see, the Democrats by month, with the exception like May, has spent far more money in securities or investments than the Republican counterparts. Senator Del Bain. Look at this shit, right? Look at all the purchases of Microsoft. It's broken down. So back to the trends, right? Amount of securities purchased per month without the Bainies or Del Bains. And this is a breakdown of all the type of investments that went on during the course of last year. Now, as you can see, what sector of the economy What sector of the economy is used to has been bought the most, basically, right? The sector that you've seen that has been bought for the most has been technology. Now, why is that? Right? I'm gonna tell you why. At the height of the pandemic, when the pandemic was in its embryo stages, going to fever pitch, all that, right? When we were at the pandemic, a lot of places were going to be closed. There wasn't going to be a lot of travel. So the way to get around that, and with people working remotely, was to invest in products like Zoom and maybe some headphones, because people need headphones to buy computers. You wonder why that when you went to Walmart or Best Buy or wherever last year, Costco, right? During the beginning stages of the pandemic, and things were closing and people needed to work remotely, right? Kids and needed to go to school remotely, right? Why'd you think that when you went to Walmart and Best Buy and all these other spots, you couldn't find a laptop? Or you couldn't find headphones to connect to a laptop? Or you couldn't find accessories for the laptop, right? Whether it be a Chromebook, whether it be an HP Pavilion, whether it be a MacBook. You might can find a MacBook, because no, MacBooks are expensive as fuck. You're not going to find too many people with a MacBook. I personally have a MacBook, but those are the only computers you could possibly find. But who in their right mind got $2,000 to buy on a MacBook? You know what I'm saying? So that's why you couldn't find a lot of these computers that cost, $500 and below, because people needed the computers to be able to log onto the internet, conduct Zoom meetings, and get on Skype or wherever, TikTok or whatever they use to get themselves working or whatever like that, right? Trying to put y'all on game here. And so companies like HP, Microsoft, what Microsoft is good for? Windows, right? Apple with their services. All those companies shot up in stock last year, especially Microsoft. Why'd you think that Nancy Pelosi invested $10 million in Microsoft, and Microsoft won a fat contract with the government? Shout out to the homie Mark Wonderlick. What's up, man? And as you can see on as I'm scrolling down, you can see retail, trade, finance, technology services, and as the months, as you can see, it's broken down. March, when the 3.41 million dollars in technology in March alone, because that's when people was going to be home and all that stuff. Look at Nancy Pelosi, Susan Delbane, right? Congresswoman, Nancy Pelosi, neck and neck in dropping money, right? More people in Congress buying stocks. I mean, it's a goddamn cesspool going on right now, man. Straight up. So yeah, current and former people within our federal government getting involved in insider trading. There's a goddamn cesspool going on right now. And nobody's going to go to jail for this shit. Nobody is going to go to jail for this shit. But you get involved in insider trading, and you let me take that same kind of information that they get, sitting in these closed door secret meetings and whatever, and make a profit off of it, right? These some fucking hypocrites, man. They just, the federal government's like the NCAA. The federal government is just like the NCAA. We all know how corrupt the NCAA is. The NCAA has been doing this shit for years, where they make money off these players, but as soon as a player wants to go out, make an honest living for himself, oh no, now the NCAA want to come up with all these violations, and you got to go to, programs got to be under damn near death sentence for X amount of years and all that, right? You get academic, you become athletically ineligible, but the NCAA can make money off of you all day. You just can't make money off of you all day, and I think that's bullshit. I think that's disgusting. See, at the end of the day, when it comes to this insider trading and all that, it's all about power and control. The one thing that has corrupted the federal government, the people in Congress, or people in the executive branch and judicial branches, is money. Why do you think, yeah, they make $100,000 a year base salary, but when you see the kind of activity they're doing behind the scenes, they're raking in millions. And we're not even talking about donation that they get from political action committees and special interest groups and lobbyists. This is just from insider trading. Shit that's illegal. Shit that they voted on. Shit that they passed. Shit that they took to the president. And the shit that the president signed. They're literally violating their own statute. And nobody's going to be held accountable for this shit. Nobody's going to go to jail. Because they got their own people investigating it. They don't got the FBI coming in, going through records and all that. No. They don't have some special independent watchdog group that's going to come in unannounced, that's going to go through the different files and look for people who might be engaged in this kind of illegal activity? No. So there you have it. And kind of unrelated, but still closely to the vest, the more I think about it, what's going on with, Quagmire, aka Matt Gaetz, the more I realize that this dude is not going to get in trouble. Paying for pussy, 17-year-old pussy, and traveling along state lines, yeah, you should be fucking hammered for that shit. But if you go down the line of all the crimes that these congressmen and even Donald Trump, the former president, has committed, right? Okay, I appreciate that, right? If you think about all the crimes that's committed, from Devin Nunes suing fake Twitter cows to getting himself involved in a conspiracy with Lev Parnas to go to the Ukraine to get dirt on Joe Biden, right? When you talk about Donald Trump committing all kinds of war crimes, when he killed that Iranian General Soleimani last year, to distract from the fact that he was getting impeached. Hell, the second impeachment, we had people storm the Capitol, right? Lie after lie after lie after lie when it comes to the election results, right? Lauren Boebert basically, telling people where the fuck the Speaker of the House was, and she's giving people tours of the goddamn Capitol. So when you factor in all that, Jim Jordan, piece of crap motherfucker out in Ohio who always looking for a gotcha moment, he's always doing this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, he was very quiet about them kids that was supposed to be under his watch at Ohio State. So when you factor in all that and nobody's gotten in trouble, not the Devin Nunes, the fucking Jim Jordan, right? Dianne Feinstein, who was involved in insider trading, the two other aforementioned Republicans I talked about, Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue, them two jackasses got voted out, but they were engaged in insider trading last year. Dianne Feinstein, like I just said, got involved in insider trading, right? So when you factor in all that shit that went on and all these politicians got caught up in scandals, who's got held accountable? Not a goddamn soul got held accountable. Even Trump himself should have been in jail right now, but he's not. This motherfucker going to got all kinds of rallies and shit. Ted Cruz can take his candy ass down to goddamn Cancun, Mexico, with his constituents out there in the fucking cold, literally burning furniture to keep themselves warm. But he wanted to sit up there and talk about, well, you know, your actions speak louder than words. So going by your actions, Ted Cruz, it proves that you don't give a flying fuck about your constituents. All that shit that went on in this cesspool known as the swamp, because that's what basically DC is for all intents and purposes. It's a fucking swamp, and there's a cesspool of alligators and snakes and sharks in that bit. Well, not necessarily sharks, but you get the picture. Alligators and snakes in this cesspool known as the swamp. Quagmire ain't going nowhere. Now, I would like to be proven wrong about that, but Matthew Gates' ass ain't going no fucking where. Now, I'm off my diatribe about that, and I hope you got some kind of information out of what we talk about in regards to the Stock Act and what it's designed to do and why people were engaged in insider trading, and yet nobody's going to go to fucking jail over it. Smash the like, hit the subscribe. Ring the bell whenever I go live. This your boy. Scream at me. Oh!